Now next page. Here, Jyoti is saying sprite 2 has to face sprite 1. How do we change the direction of the sprite? Now you can see on the stage that here we are having these two sprites and both should stand opposite to each other if they want to play catch and throw game. So for that what we will do, we will change here the direction. So here we will have point in direction. Point in direction, when we use point in direction, then uh, the location then the sprite gets stand in opposite to the first sprite. So to stand this Avery opposite to Abby, what we will do, we will use here point in direction, point towards. When we click on point towards uh, means where we want that our sprite should look. Here I want that this sprite should look at the sprite 1 or Abby. So for that what we will do, we will make it to point towards either to the mouse pointer or to the Abby. Here I will select on Abby. So here when we click on it, then the sprite has changed its direction because we have pointed it to the Abby. So to make it straight, what we will do here, we will use the instruction set rotation style. If we use this instruction, then it will set the rotation style for the sprite. Here we are having three options. One is the left right. Means if we want that our sprite should stand opposite to another sprite, for that we will select this option. Another is don't rotate. Don't rotate means the sprite will not rotate in any direction. And last one is the all around. That means the sprite can move in any direction. But here for this game we want both the sprites should stand each other. So for that, here Abby is facing towards the Avery, but Avery is not facing to Abby. So to make it stand opposite to Abby, we have used these two instructions. So let's run it here. You can see that both the sprites are standing opposite to each other. So for that we have to use here two instruction. One is the point towards. By making it point towards, the sprite will point to the will stand opposite to the another sprite. And to make it straight, we have to use the rotation style instruction. We have stand are both the sprites opposite to each other, as you can see inside the book also. Now the next page is, then Jyote is saying sprite 2 has to face sprite 1. How do we change the direction of the sprite? Then Tejas points towards the instruction block. This is again a movement of the sprite. Let us check inside the motion block. We can use this. Here Moz is saying you need to make sure that in the sprite info area the rotation style is selected. Actually this has been written for the previous version of the Scratch, where we are having the rotation style uh, in the current sprite info window. Here we are also having this. For example, when I click here, then you can see these options. When we select these options, that means this time both the sprite will stand opposite to each other. And if we are selecting this option, that means it will not going to rotate. If we want to stand them, then you can see on the stage also. And if we want that it can move all around, for that we will select this option, and you can see the changes that has been reflected on the stage. So here we want to stand them opposite, so we will click on this option. So here the current style we have selected this. Tejas and Jyoti entered the following instruction to position the second sprite on the stage. Now you can see that here we have set our both the sprites opposite to each other. Now if we want to change their direction, then what we will do, we will use go to XY instruction. This is the instruction. For example, I want that the every should move down. So what we will do here, the value of x will be positive, for example 200, and the value of y will be negative. Here the value will be, suppose we have written here 145 minus 145. Now you can see that every has moved down. So let's change its value by minus 70. So here she is at this position. We can change the position accordingly. For example, here I change it by the value 160 and y as 180. So this is the location. Okay, now next is, we have used the instruction point towards, we have also written go to XY. Now see that all these instruction uh, we have written in the every block. Every, when we select on every, then here we are having these instructions. But when we click on Abby, then there is only one instruction, that is go to, because she is standing opposite to every. But every को हम लोगों को set करना पड़ा, that is why we have written these two extra instructions for every. For example, let us remove this instruction and let's join them. We have to change the value of Abby also here. Abby is at the up and the value should be minus. Here I will change it to minus 160 and y value will be positive. Here the value will be 100. So you can see, now let us move it down. For example, I have changed it to 60. Now we have stand both the sprites opposite to each other. Then next page, Tejas is saying, now let us import the ball sprite from the sprite library. Now what we want that both the sprites should play with each other with the help of the ball, so that what we will do, we will get a ball sprite. Here this is the ball sprite. You can make the size of the ball larger. For example, here I have changed it to 180. So our ball will be larger than the previous one. Here we have imported it. The icon for choose the sprite from the library is called Giga. Please underline the line. The selected sprite is added to the existing sprite list. Now here this is the existing sprite list. Here we are having three sprites on the stage, and we are having the list of the sprites here also. Then Jyoti, next let us place the ball in the hand of the sprite 1. Then Tejas uses the mouse and moves the ball sprite to the hands of sprite 1. Then he points to the X and Y position of the ball sprite displayed in the current sprite info window. Here Tejas uses the mouse and moves the ball sprite. So what we will do, we will also do the same thing. We will keep this ball in the hands of Abby. Then he points to X and Y position of the ball sprite displayed in the current sprite info window. When we see here this is the X and Y values for the ball.